In a world where magic reigned supreme and heroes were born from the most unlikely places, there lived a young healer named Yuki. She was known throughout the land for her gentle touch and soothing aura. But little did anyone know that beneath her calm exterior lay a power waiting to be unleashed. Yuki's days were filled with tending to the wounded and sick in her small village. Nestled between towering mountains and lush forests, she spent her time brewing potions, applying salves, and whispering incantations to ease the pain of those who sought her aid. But deep down, she yearned for something more, a chance to prove herself as more than just a simple healer. One fateful day, as Yuki was gathering herbs in the nearby woods, she stumbled upon an ancient shrine hidden among the trees. Curiosity got the better of her, and she cautiously approached the moss-covered structure. As she reached out to touch the weathered stone, a blinding light engulfed her, and she felt a surge of energy coursing through her veins. When the light faded, Yuki found herself face to face with a mischievous-looking spirit. The spirit, who introduced himself as Coco, declared that he was the guardian of the shrine, and that Yuki had been chosen to unlock her true potential. "Chosen me?" Yuki stammered, her eyes wide with disbelief. "But I'm just a healer." Coco let out a high-pitched giggle that echoed through the forest. "Oh, you silly human. Not just a healer, you read the key to unlocking divine powers that have been dormant for centuries." Before Yuki could process what was happening, Coco snapped his fingers, and they were transported to a mystical realm filled with floating islands and shimmering waterfalls. "Welcome to the Divine Training Grounds," Coco announced with a flourish. "This is where you'll learn to harness your true abilities." And so began Yuki's intense and often hilarious journey to unlock her divine potential. Her first lesson involved learning to fly, which resulted in her crashing into countless trees and landing face-first in a pond filled with grumpy water spirits. Coco couldn't stop laughing as Yuki emerged, covered in algae and muttering curses under her breath. "Come on, Yuki," Coco cheered. "You're supposed to be graceful like a swan, not clumsy like a drunken duck." As the days turned into weeks, Yuki's powers began to grow. She discovered that she could not only heal wounds, but also manipulate the very essence of life itself. Her once gentle touch now held the power to create lush gardens from barren wastelands and breathe life into withered creatures. But with great power came great responsibility and great danger. Word of Yuki's newfound abilities spread throughout the realms, attracting the attention of both allies and enemies. One particularly persistent foe was the nefarious Lord Shadowmancer, a dark sorcerer who sought to harness Yuki's powers for his own twisted purposes. Lord Shadowmancer's minions began to attack the Divine Training Grounds, forcing Yuki to put her skills to the test. In one particularly intense battle, Yuki found herself surrounded by shadow creatures, their glowing red eyes fixed on her menacingly. "Oh, come on," Yuki groaned. "I didn't sign up for this. I'm a healer, not a warrior." But as the shadows closed in, something inside Yuki snapped. With a fierce cry, she unleashed a burst of radiant energy that sent the creatures flying in all directions. Coco, who had been hiding behind a rock, peeked out with a mixture of awe and amusement. "Now that's what I call divine potential," he exclaimed, doing a little victory dance. As Yuki's training progressed, she began to realize that her true strength lay not in destruction, but in creation and restoration. She learned to combine her healing abilities with her newfound powers, creating miracles that left even the most seasoned divine beings in awe. One of her greatest achievements came when she faced off against a colossal monster that had been terrorizing the nearby mortal realms. Instead of fighting the beast, Yuki reached out with her powers and sensed the pain and fear that drove its rampage. With a gentle touch and a flood of healing energy, she soothed the creature's tormented soul, transforming it into a peaceful guardian of the forest. As news of Yuki's feats spread, she became known as the Divine Healer, a beacon of hope for both mortals and immortals alike. But with her growing fame came new challenges and responsibilities. Lord Shadowmancer, enraged by Yuki's continued defiance, launched a full-scale assault on the mortal realm. Yuki found herself at the center of an epic battle. Her powers pushed to their limits as she fought to protect innocent lives and maintain the balance between light and darkness. In the heat of the conflict, Yuki discovered her ultimate ability, the power to purify corrupted souls and turn darkness into light. With this newfound skill, she faced Lord Shadowmancer in a final climactic showdown. The battle was intense, with magic and energy clashing in a dazzling display of power. Yuki dodged shadow bolts and countered with bursts of radiant light, all while trying to reach the twisted core of Lord Shadowmancer's being. "Give up, little healer," the dark sorcerer sneered. "You cannot hope to match my power." Yuki, her eyes glowing with divine light, stood her ground. "I don't need to match your power," she declared. "I just need to heal the pain that drives it." With a surge of energy, Yuki reached out and touched Lord Shadowmancer's chest. A blinding light erupted from the point of contact, enveloping both of them in a cocoon of pure energy. When the light faded, Lord Shadowmancer fell to his knees, tears streaming down his face as centuries of darkness and pain were washed away. As the dust settled and peace returned to the realms, Yuki found herself hailed as a true hero. But despite her newfound fame and power, she never forgot her roots as a simple village healer. Yuki continued to travel between the mortal and divine realms, using her abilities to help those in need and bridge the gap between worlds. She established academies where she taught others to harness their own hidden potentials, creating a new generation of healers and protectors. And through it all, Coco remained by her side, providing comic relief and the occasional nugget of wisdom. "You know, Yuki," he said one day, as they sat atop a floating island watching the sunset, "when I first met you, I thought you were just another clumsy human. But you've proven that even the gentlest soul can become a force of nature when given the chance to shine." Yuki smiled, her eyes twinkling with both mischief and wisdom. "And you've proven that even the most annoying spirit can become a treasured friend," she retorted, giving Coco a playful nudge. As they laughed together, Yuki reflected on her journey from a simple village healer to the divine healer, who had unlocked the potential for greatness in herself and others. She realized that true power didn't come from grand displays of magic or epic battles, but from the ability to touch lives and bring light to the darkest of places. And so Yuki's adventure continued, filled with laughter, challenges, and the endless possibility of unlocking new potentials, both divine and human. In the vast tapestry of existence,